So you want to build a cybersecurity project.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Project is a temporary endeavor that is undertaken to come up with a specific product, service, or result. Projects have predetermined goals, a predetermined time frame, and allocated resources. During my final year of university, I actually undertook a cybersecurity related project. So I built a network intrusion detection system using machine learning. I actually found it quite boring, simply because maybe I didn't understand what the nature of a project was. So I built this network intrusion detection system using machine learning. Basically, I found a data set that simulated different kinds of network intrusion attacks, and then I fed it to the model, and this data set actually contained data of different types of attacks simulated across an entire week, and it actually had benign traffic as well as malicious traffic. So I took all this and put it into one place, and I trained the model, and I came up with a .pickle file. So after coming up with this .pickle file, just made sure I had a program that worked, attached it, then I designed a front end for it, and then I attached that front end, added several functions, and like somewhere along the line, like I realized demonstration wise, if I was demonstrating my project to a layman, they probably wouldn't know how it works. So since we're in the age of AI, I had to add AI somewhere. Like that was basically the trend. So I added a chatbot feature, basically, where the traffic that I actually capture is then fed into the AI. Then through use of the ChatGPT API, I can actually get like interpretation of what this data meant. Anyway, moving on. That's one type of a project, but frankly, I find that quite boring. So let me actually tell you project types that I actually find interesting and can be fun both in their planning and execution. So first, you can build a DIY honeypot. To build the honeypot, you set up a dedicated machine or Raspberry Pi, then you isolate it from the main network. Then on the honeypot, you simply install a lightweight distribution like Linux, and then you use a Docker to run honeypot services like Cowrie or Dioneer, however it's pronounced. And then you configure the honeypot to mimic vulnerable services. And then you can use Suricata or Zeek for network traffic through a firewall to limit damage in case of a breach. And then you monitor the logs. Then you can visualize attack patterns in real time. Then you can monitor the honeypot regularly to capture insights and regulate behavior. Now this one is something I've wanted to do myself, but it's a skill issue. Basically, you build a vulnerable CTF or a vulnerable machine, basically. So maybe in the case of a project, you could actually host something on a cloud server. Then maybe you actually take like your Ubuntu server ISO, you actually set up some vulnerabilities, and you set up various steps to gain root access, and then maybe you and your friends can actually make various attempts at hacking this Ubuntu server. Or you can even take the alternative route where you actually start making a vulnerable machine that you can actually submit to Hack the Box for money, right? If you all didn't know about the Hack the Box machine submission process, basically you build the machine of your choice, and then after you built a machine, they then evaluate based on the various steps to root, complexity of the tasks, and the novelty of your machine, basically. And then they put your machine through a trial period, and then after various back and forth, they can approve your machine. And then based on the difficulty of the machine and that you submitted, as well as its novelty, you can actually get paid. Then you can create a Wi-Fi Pineapple clone. Basically, to do that, you start by installing Raspberry Pi OS on your device. Then you install host APD so as to create a rogue access point. You use DNS mask with a queue to provide DHCP services and DNS resolution for connected clients. Next, you install BetaCap for a powerful network attack and monitoring tool which can perform man-in-the-middle attacks. Then configure BetaCap to create fake captive portals redirecting users to malicious pages to capture credentials or sensitive information. Then you can set up a web interface to monitor BetaCap. and also monitor the connected clients easily. Finally, you can document the process and showcase your capability. You have forged your way towards a desired result, and I think that's actually helpful for your own growth and learning process, as well as to provide something of value to anyone else who may look at your work. And then something that I actually thought of, I actually don't know how to do this skill issue, but I'll probably look into it eventually when I get time. Something like a social engineering awareness challenge. Basically, think you could set up a server with various web services running and various ways to get to these web services. This can actually help people improve on their enumeration process so that they never leave any stone unturned. And then on all of these, they can have like a set of credentials that works. And then they are supposed to try identify if these web pages are real or fake. So like when they actually log into somewhere they're not supposed to, it can be like, you failed, something like that. And I think that would actually be quite interesting, and there's various ways you can go about it, but then again, I believe you can do your own research and add your own twist and creativity as to various ways you can actually do this. Then I think you can also build a steganography tool, basically a tool that can recognize information hidden within images. I think it would be good for this tool to be automated as well. And I can imagine various types of businesses that can actually function with this use case. It can maybe be a media business, like just to make sure they don't actually post pictures with sensitive information on their blogs or something like that. As well as even advertising companies that actually they're not giving away sensitive information. And it can also be useful in investigations where like you may actually be looking for information that may actually be hidden in images, right? I think from the few I've mentioned, these are actually really good projects, and I think you would actually enjoy looking into them, and there could be things that you can actually test with your friends, something you can that's both helpful and fun at the same time. I think that's really something that tends to be missing during our learning process for lots of things, and then it makes us quit before we've even made any progress. So if you actually found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.